My God, the best ARPG soon to release April 30th, big patch, just got even more wicked. We got a couple of questions that were answered by the developers, answering some frequently asked questions by the devs. This is Mr. Thomas answering a couple of questions. So we're gonna try to get through this a little bit quickly, okay? Multiplayer and console release. Multiplayer win. Will it be co-op finally? We're working incredibly hard on finishing up co-op already. We're doing, we don't have a specific date yet, but co-op will be next update right after the breach, which is on April 30th. Is co-op just co-op or does that include PvP? Well, we've been playing PvP internally for quite some time now. There is a good chance we'll want to let PvP cook a little longer and release it as a separate update. Should we assume another 9 months down the road for co-op? Hell no. Is multiplayer not coming out in the next update? It will not be part of the breach update, but the update right after. Co-op still 4 players or 3 players? Is it already available? Co-op will be limited to 4 players per realm in total, which means that you and 3 friends can play. Since multiplayer works quite different in Wicked than it does in most other ARPGs, you'll want to share a realm with people that you consistently play with. Let me expand on this one, chat. Let me expand on what they could possibly mean by multiplayer works different than other ARPGs. So in No Rest for the Wicked, you have a world, a realm. You could think about it as like a server in an MMO, where you have trees that grow, you have plants that you life skill, minerals that you mine, and you have housing, player housing. So you can look at it as these little servers, these little realms, as like a private MMO space for 3 of your other friends. So you'll be able to treat that realm as if it's all 4 players' realm. If I understood this right, because the game is a little bit more like an MMO light than an ARPG. So they're trying to incorporate some MMO elements that are typical in MMOs without the massive multiplayer. It's just 4 players. Let's see. Will PvP still be upcoming thing? Hell yes. Was it possible to release the Breach and multiplayer at the same time? Quality always comes first at Moon. If we could have released co-op and Breach together, we would have. But we want each feature to shine and be fully featured before we release it. Will Moon have separate servers or use Steam ones? Will you have servers on different regions? You can't keep those servers forever, right? We're working with a partner on this in order to provide servers globally. When the game comes out on consoles, will it have crossplay? Yes, crossplay and cross-save. What about potential console release? We're basically following the same formula Larian did with Baldur's Gate 3. We want to take the time in early access to really perfect Wicked so that we can release Wicked on all major platforms at 1.0 and level of quality that people expect from Moon Studios. Updates, wipes, and progress. Should we expect a forced restart for each major update? Will there be more wipes after the breach? No, don't worry. We'll only wipe when we deem it absolutely necessary, and we'll advance the way that way in advance. Characters will be wiped. Will I need to do a new character? What about realms? Are those wiped too? Yes, you will have to create a new character and a new realm in order to play the breach. Old characters and realms won't get deleted. They will still be available in the legacy build. If you need to start a new save, that will happen on Twitch. If you need to start a new save, what will happen to the Twitch drops? Everyone will get these now. So there are only 2 major updates, Breach and multiplayer, left until Wicked leaves early access. No, there will be more. Will we have full campaign at the Breach update? No. While we massively expand the campaign, it's not the full content yet that we have planned for 1.0. What will happen with the Serum Armor? That's like the Twitch drops. Everyone who bought Wicked during early access will have access to that gear. Content and playability. Will enemies spawn more often in open world? We've drastically improved our alive system. You'll now see many more enemies and enemy factions spawn with all new states have been created for every single area. Are you worried that areas will lose their identity if an enemy can appear in them? If any enemy can appear in them. No, we have a lot of things planned in that regard, and for the breach, variety means more fun. Can we get pets, maybe at our house? Right now, this is a wish list item that we might or might not get into. Does farming come before or after the final act? Farming will be part of the Sacrament update. Players will simply be able to buy farmhouses with farmland instead of just the houses you already know. Will we be able to replace ruins or gems in this update or ever? The feature is currently not supported for the breach, but we might still get into it. Are ruins on the shield coming to breach? No, but shield ruins will be part of a larger combat update later down the road. Will we get the new uniques? Yes. Will we get have a job system in the future, like Final Fantasy Tactics, job abilities and system? Yes, and it's going to be great. If there's more than one enemy, will we be limited, limit stack, or will I still have the 5 food limit? The hunger limit does not stack based on the number of enemies. Any news on the official Mac port? We'll have more news on that for that in the future. Are there any plans to introduce modding support? No plans to add mod support for the time being. Story and world map. What size is the game time, playtime breach compared to Act 1? It's hard to put in a concrete timestamp on this since all players play differently, but generally we doubled the content. So you should be able to spend at least twice the amount of time that you did before. I spent around 180 hours on the first Wicked, so 180 times 2, chat. That's kind of good. How much more story is there in this update? Much. Will Kaylin be the breach update? Which areas will be added in the breach update? Kaylin will not be part of the breach update. The main new zones we're introducing are the lowland meadows, Marin Woods. Keep in mind that we also added new zones here and there as well. Mechanics and balancing. Did you address attribute requirements, update attribute? We've tweeted great many things about stats. Please let us know how you feel about them. The systems after you experience the breach. I'm going through this as fast as I can, chat. What about level limit? When we increase it with a breach, we're still limiting players to level 30. But we've been working on our experience curve and our stats in general. So your experience might be quite different than it was in the current live build. Is Exalting still the same? Exalting has been changed, but we don't want to spoil everything just yet. Did parry get improved? We've adjusted timings of parries. Has falling off the ledge has been reworked. After discussing this multiple times in our community Discord server, we've advised not to introduce any form of ledge protection. So please, don't use any dash abilities next to a cliff. Is improved enemy AI planned for the breach? Yes, all enemies got a polish pass, learned some new moves, and so on. Crucible will be the same as it is now. We've only adjusted things slightly for the Crucible. There are no added content, but you'll once again be able to gain experience in the Crucible. You'll also see item drops returning. Pestilence will keep repeating after defeating the boss, or is it one-time thing? Once the pestilence spreads throughout Isola Sakura, all areas can be infected. You cleanse areas by defeating the plague boss within that area. After that though, the area could become infected again. Will you remove daily and timed missions? No, but we plan on heavily improving these in the future. If you guys don't know, because I know dailies are a big alarming thing for many players, a controversial subject, dailies. The dailies in No Rest for the Wicked are not really mandatory. They're extra stuff that you can get along your way. It's not something that's going to put a big, at least that's how it was on the initial No Rest for the Wicked. It's not something that you need to feel the need to log in and do, or else you miss out greatly. All the things that you get from dailies, more or less, you should be able to get them by just regular play in the game. It was never a big must-do thing in the game, but I don't know if that's changed. It doesn't seem like it's going to change much, but we'll see. They're improving it, so it gets better apparently. Will Finley still only there on Saturday mornings? We have not yet made any changes to Finley. Sound of Music. Is Gareth Cocker coming back, or is it just one song? Gareth is officially a composer for No Rest for the Wicked. Gareth is the guy who was in charge of the of Ori's soundtrack, chat. If you guys are not familiar, Ori and the Will of the Wisp and Ori in general has a great soundtrack, and this guy is the one that produced it, and he will also be producing or composing the music for No Rest for the Wicked. Is he doing the entire score for the Wicked or just contributing? Gareth is providing all new music for No Rest for the Wicked. Is there a way of getting the OST at the end of the trailer? Is so good. We'll announce more regarding that in the future. UI, will we get a PS button and prompts? Yes, our PFP is animated now in the game. Your avatar in the top left of your screen is now indeed fully 3D model instead of a 2D graphic. Performance and technical questions. Will we have a new piece of requirements? No, but you should see very nice performance gains in the Breach update. Will Wicked have a FSR 4? No, not for the Breach. How will the performance improvements impact Steam Deck? We focus a lot of optimization Wicked on Steam Deck. Please let us know more with your experience. What GPU was used during the performance graphics segment in Wicked? Our testers played on numerous machines. Hard to say. We're trying to ensure that Wicked performs well even on the modest of hardwares. Business model and marketing. Will there be any paid DLC or expansions? Still no microtransactions crap? Is that the plan? Everyone who buys early access will be able to play all updates, including having access to the full 1.0 release of No Rest for the Wicked. After we reach 1.0, we intend to release bigger expansions to continue our journey. And indeed, we don't plan on adding any microtransaction crap. We don't have to pay for anything anymore, right? Correct. So no paid expansions, no paid DLC, no microtransactions, just the initial purchase of the game. That's an interesting business model. I don't know how that's going to work out for them. I'm not sure how that's going to work, chat. I don't think that's possible. No, that's impossible. These developers are trying to have a game that runs for 10 years minimum. How are you going to pay for the servers and stuff if there is no money coming in? Like, you can't rely on new players all the time. That's just not going to work. So this whole MTX crap, I don't see it. No Man's Sky does it. Does No Man's Sky do it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a believer. We'll see, though. We'll see. I'm not a believer. Hey, I kind of need a little bit of help. How about you help me out? Hit that follow, subscription button, all the good stuff. Yeah, comment and like, possibly, maybe. Please.